Okay, Assalamualaikum. So today we're going to discuss about the impact of Kyoto Protocol on energy resource issues and policy in country Holland. So what do you guys have, or what do you guys think about this?
Uh, in in Holland, they target between the Kyoto Protocol target between 2008, 2008 and 2012. The Netherlands ratified the Kyoto Protocol in 31st of May 2002. And at the time of signing, the EU agreed upon greenhouse gas reduction percentage of 8% for EU as a whole. And this common target was subsequently divided amongst EU members. And this until this year, the target has not been achieved.
So this is about policy or issue?
The issue.
Okay, issue. So anyone else?
Okay, let me talk about let me touch about policy making process. Okay, in Holland, as a party of the for Kyoto Protocol, the Holland had an emission reduction target for 2008 until 2012. Okay, as targets for the next commitment period has not yet been set. Current policies aim for the 2020 emission reduction target that has been agreed upon in the EU. Okay, for the Kyoto target 2008 until 2012, the Netherlands ratified the Kyoto Protocol on 31st May 2012. Okay, at that time of signing of the protocol, the EU agreed upon a greenhouse gas pollution percentage of 8% for the Union as a whole. This common target was subsequently divided amongst the EU member states in the so-called Budgetary Agreement. Next, for the Netherlands, this resulted in an emission reduction target of 6% below the emission level in the base year for 2008 until 2012 period. For emission of CO2/4 and N2O, the base year is 1990, and for the F gases, it is 1995.
Okay, so that's about policy. Maybe.
Okay, let me edit the information about policies and measurement and their effect. Okay, like we know, the policies has been implemented since 1999, 1999 at Kyoto, and then the significant impact on greenhouse gas in the Netherlands, even the primary objective of the policy is not directly related to climate change. It's also described sectoral policies and measures. The scope of the section is limited to domestic and EU policies and measure implement or plan in the Netherlands. In the Holland, the policies and measurement described tools that we know on 6 September 2030 which was when the SER energy agreement was signed. Okay, most policies and measurement described in Netherlands national communication have been continued and therefore reappear in this 6 national communication. And then I think it's for policy and management and their effect.
Okay, so maybe energy resource. Someone can add around. Maybe you.
Energy, let me talk about energy effect of
Kyoto.
Kyoto Protocol. Okay, for the energy effect, okay, the Holland exert a tax. Okay, objective of the policy is to boost energy savings by putting an incentive of reducing the consumption of gas and electricity,
Yeah.
which should direct consumers, which should direct consumers toward more energy efficient behavior. The regulatory of energy tax was introduced in 1996, changing its name to energy tax in 2004. Okay, taxing energy use makes energy saving by changing behavior or investing in energy saving measures more attractive. Okay, the tax is levied on electricity and natural gas, and the level of the energy tax depends on the first on the energy consumption of a customer. Okay, which is the higher the consumption, the 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 lower the energy tax divide.
Okay.
And second, specific agreements between different sectors, and the government.
Okay, so basically, they managed to reduce the emission gas,
Yeah.
while they can use the energy resource. Uh, as we all know, Netherlands use what do you call it? Windmill. Okay, so they have another backup energy power resource. In the same way, they can reduce the emission because Kyoto Protocol is about gas emission to save greenhouse gas. So they work in line together. Maybe is that anything you can
in
add? You can
effect on
maybe effect.
industry.
Okay. Effect on industry. Base the UE ETS policies affecting CO2 emission in industry are generally aimed at improving industrial energy efficiency. This include the long-term agreement with the industrial sector backed up by environmental permit based on the environmental management and the energy investment tax deduction regime within the corporate tax system. Okay, the long-term agreement energy efficiency ETS enterprise for the ETS, the benchmarking covenant described in NC5 was followed in 2009 by long-term agreement energy efficiency ETS enterprise for ETS enterprise. The voluntary for long-term agreement focus on the promotion of energy saving in the Netherlands. Lee was signed by four government ministers. Okay, that's
That's all. Okay. Uh, so policy, energy resource, and another one is issue. Okay. Maybe uh, what Netherlands want to be in another 5 year or by 2020, since based on statistic or what do you call that article, they say 2008 and 2010 was 4%, but they want to achieve 6%. So they have to work harder to achieve the target. So what we can take means what we can learn from their effort. Maybe we can apply any place or maybe Malaysia.
okay. I want to add,
Just open a profession.
I want to add some
Info.
info about the policy of the Netherlands. And the government of Netherlands, the first policy is the government of the Netherlands act to deal with the impact of climate change. They have to minimize the impact of the climate change to the government have adapting to climate change. For instance, by taking measures of to prevent flooding and protect freshwater supplies, agricultural production, and environment and health. The enforcement of this also falls under adoption, and cities, for example, can plant more trees and and other vegetation to manage to heal the stress. Apart from that, the reducing greenhouse emission so that the climate does not change so rapidly and radically. This can be done by switching from fossil fuels to sustainable energy resources like solar and wind power.
Wind power. Okay. Uh, as we all know, Eastern Europe countries perform very well in based on Kyoto Protocol. But what do you guys think about maybe Asia countries, why they cannot perform well in terms of Kyoto Protocol? Maybe because of
the technology,
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 Maybe because of the
manufacture,
awareness,
the
awareness
weather,
between
the low
awareness,
awareness
yeah,
between
the
citizens.
country.
maybe there's or maybe we about late to know about this Kyoto Protocol, late to get informed. Uh, Another information maybe
Which
anything about Kyoto Protocol target or maybe realization. Since Netherlands is a well-known country, so maybe the highlight is there. So many people can see their achievement, they do not know what they have been through before they reach their target. Like German they submit their uh, no, they submit about yes, agreement Kyoto Protocol. They
sign
submit sign for 2022, but they break before 2022 because they cannot achieve their target. So they stop. Uh, and Netherlands does not do that.
Okay.
Maybe that's what we can say, that maybe it's more
They we can say that they want to try their best to
the
improve
best.
the to perform well in the Kyoto Protocol, because they want to achieve that 6% on
Yeah,
2012.
to the
Okay. Apart from that,
okay.
Netherlands, the government of Netherlands has forced the private sector, over 200 companies and civil society organizations are working together to in the Dutch Climate Coalition. They are taking far-reaching climate measures to make their business operations climate neutral. In doing so, they are also complying with international climate agreement. Various parties are also exploring climate smart innovation, new ways of doing business, and smart partnership.
Okay.
make a partnership
Make a partnership with another
to
party.
make their target achieve
Yeah, and more efficient.
That's the role of the
Uh,
private sector. The government forced them to do
um,
it.
uh, that do you have anything? Uh, well, the objective of a national system under Kyoto Protocol uh, it is to enable an estimation and reporting an autophonic GHG, which is greenhouse gas emission by source and removal pricing, to facilitate meeting and commitments under articles, to facilitate the review of the information submitted, to ensure and improve the quality of inventory. So this is their objective based on Kyoto Protocol in Netherlands. So maybe we can say that they achieve their objective, since their target they already achieved. So maybe this objective was achieved also.
Okay,
Uh, Betul ah.
okay. Ada conclusion.
Okay, for the conclusion, what we can say, anything, one by one.
I think Malaysia can adapt to this Kyoto Protocol if we have better knowledge in this climate change.
One thing that I think we can learn from them.
As an example.
We can make them as one of example, as a role model for our country to push for a better country, for the green country.
Maybe Malaysia in our countries, they have to make many investment in sector to make our renewable energy can supply more power,
More efficient, yes.
to substitute our energy to support more.
So we have more backup power. Yes.
Maybe that conclusion, we as a student must learn more about renewable energy to achieve the Malaysia has a name in other countries.
Yes, to be well known, and can fight with other what we call side by side country like Singapore, which is already above us. So we can take it as an example. So that's all from us. Netherlands or Holland on Kyoto Protocol on Kyoto Protocol. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Netherlands and its long history of wind power and land creation has been massively influential in the way people and societies interact with the environment. While the nation has grown and evolved since its days of milling grains and evacuating water with windmills, the triumphs and challenges of sustainability in the Netherlands can still provide an important source of information for the further development of sustainable energy in the United States, as well as the rest of the world.
So there are some things that are very sustainable here, and I think these kinds of the things like all the bicycles give Amsterdam and the Netherlands this image of sustainability, right? So bikes are a big element of it, I would say. Mm-hmm. The other big element is the kind of the historical use of windmills, and these are kind of the images that are very nicely packaged and exported, and then that's the perception of outsiders of what Netherlands is about.
Use of renewables in the Netherlands as a percent of total consumption is the third lowest in the European Union, with around 6% as of a 2015 report, compared to over 50% in Sweden. Additionally, much of the Netherlands' supposedly renewable energy comes from the burning of biomass, a process which releases carcinogens and other health hazards into the atmosphere.
We can do more than incineration. We should look more from a circular economy perspective. The current situation with, if you look at the energy mix in the Netherlands, it's less than 10%, I think, of energy that comes from windmills. So that's an example where this kind of image of sustainability is based on a historical situation that's no longer the reality. Some of the industries in the Netherlands are incredibly unsustainable and incredibly carbon intensive. So that would be things like the ports, things like the Schiphol airport.
Fortunately, the Dutch are showing interest in practicality-based investment in wind power and other sustainable technology. Their wide use of bicycles throughout urban environments has made a great impact on the development of public spaces and the reduction of transportation-related carbon emissions. According to the 2015 Global Wind Report, a majority of Dutch citizens would be willing to invest more in wind power.
One example is this idea that the city is doing so much to encourage electrification of transport. And you guys have probably seen all these electric vehicle charging stations in the city, which is one of the highest rates in European cities. And so the city had a big subsidy program also to encourage people to buy electric vehicles. How can you make the right behavior cheap and convenient? And I think it's really amazing the way Amsterdam's kind of achieved that with cycling. And I'm kind of always thinking, how can you do that with other topics?
With more and more Dutch people becoming aware of their power to have a positive impact on the environment, they're reclaiming their historic role in developing more wind, including, recently, the construction of one of the largest offshore wind farms in the world. The spirit of Dutch development can and should be applied in the United States. Historically, the Dutch understood that wind was an asset for them, much as we Americans should apply our abundance of open land suitable for solar and wind farms, as well as existing dams available for retrofitting hydropower. With this responsibly resourceful and diverse approach to energy, we, too, in the United States, can change our environment for the better.